We're ready for it now. That 2 second intro. Thank you, everyone, for checking in and joining us for another episode of In the Metal. And this week, In the Metal, we're going to kind of do something that is engineered or uh, towards more podcast style. So we don't have a huge amount of images. When I say it, there are zero images. So, but what I want to do is this week, because is to take a look at the city of Basel. Basel has just hosted the Art Basel week, and Jay has been there for the week. It's his old stomping ground. It's where he spent many, many years as a restaurateur, as a chef, as a local. Well, let's just say a local celebrity. You'd have to say, like, and but it's yeah, Jay, it's fantastic to catch up with you, my friend. You're just back from Basel. How was it?
Yes, yes. I just got back from Basel. It was, yeah. I left Basel. I didn't have so much time to, tell people, bye bye and whatever else. And it was really a situation where I was like, I was really feeling it. The past 7 years being in Brooklyn, COVID, and opening the restaurants. A lot happened in my life too. So when my wife, who is working with Samsung, Daria, and she, normally goes for this because she curates art for the frame TV of Samsung. Now that means she also does a lot of collaborations with a lot of different, galleries, the Museum of Modern Art, Art Basel. So they have a lot of collaborations happening with art and with Art Basel. So that is the reason why I said I'm going to go with her. And I was there for a week. I was there from Sunday to Sunday.
Explain to us what Basel means to you and why Art Basel means, because I am so familiar with with Art Basel as a concept, never been at it, and so I have no experience of that kind of immersive thing of actually being there. So tell us a little bit. What does Basel mean to you, and therefore to have an event like Art Basel happening? What is tell us how they're all interlinked?
So Art Basel, or let's go back to Basel. Basel
Sure.
was a place I went after my hotel management to do my internship at Hilton Hotel. So culinary and hotel management in Kur, and then I had a campus interview. I was selected by the Hilton Hotel. Went to Basel, Switzerland, and that was my place for the next 20 years. I mean, 30 years. Sorry.
Crazy.
Yes. So 1989, hotel school, internship in Basel Hilton, hotel school, internship in Basel Hilton, and then I got a job at the Basel Hilton, and I stayed there for 10 years after, till the
So
end
you
of my.
essentially made Hilton what it is.
I sort of must have held in between how that was. So there's a lot of things what you do which sort of affects people. Your friendliness, your networking, your precision to work, your all of the things what I learned and the way I am and was then sort of helped to get in people came to see it's a people business.
Of course.
When they like somebody, they want to see the person every time they go out. So every time, they don't go to one particular place, they do go to Hilton, they want to go to the Old City Bar because Jay Kumar is there, or they want to go to the Wetstein Grill restaurant where Jay Kumar was there. So this is how things work. Everybody has got a connection, and I tend to be very emotional about people, so I get connected in a very nice way. So that is Basel, and Basel was also the 30 years of my life.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be in one
Absolutely.
place. And after Hilton starting off a business, working on the business, let me put it very straightforward. I'm a brown boy in a white country, in a white city, and you have to be adapting to the culture. You have to be adapting to everything what they do, because that is the only way you can have people connected to you. If you don't speak the language, you can forget it. If you don't do the things the way the Swiss do, you can forget it. These are the things what you need to adapt when you go to a place. I mean, learning the language, it is so important. You can't think of anything which goes away. So Basel has been, giving me the foundation for everything what I've done the next 30 years, and now here in Brooklyn.
Sure.
You see what I mean? So community, being close to the community, being close to people. So that is what Basel is. So now there were two very important fairs in Basel. One was the Baselworld.
Hmm.
We all know Baselworld. It's all about watches, parts, jewelry, gems, independent watches, everything what and machinery and everything under that big luxury segment. Basel had once a year something called Baselworld, and that was the pinnacle of luxury and of everything watches and jewelry.
It was the epicenter of the watch industry at the time. Yes, there was SAH in Geneva earlier in the
Not,
year.
not as big as this.
It was not as big as Baselworld, and Baselworld was. I remember the first time I crossed the doors into Hall One, and these towering kiosks that were, I think the first one was Hublot, and
Hublot,
then
Tag Zenith, Bulgari was
yeah,
in the beginning, and then you had Patek, Rolex,
Rolex, right
Chopin,
up.
yes, Chopin, and then Tudor, and then the rest of the world.
Insane. I Here was this Irish guy who literally was wet behind the ears, not knowing anything about this industry,
Yes.
and completely a noob going into the doors of that place. And I will never forget the first impression that place made on me. I just could not believe it.
Yeah.
I have been in the beer industry, the drinks industry for 25 years. I've been in Dusseldorf and Cologne. I've been in Bordeaux and different expos all over. Man, they were vulgar in comparison to this. This
About
this
that
was on
Basel,
another level.
I
I was
mean,
going to circle back to Baselworld, but saying as we're talking about it now, because like Baselworld had this. I was reading up a little bit on it, and it actually started off as an exhibition, MuBa in 1917,
yeah.
and it was a kind of a Swiss trade fair for all things Swiss, and over the years
That was
it
MuBa.
MuBa or MuBa, yeah, MuBa, and it evolved over the years, and obviously
Because
there's a lot
they
of
had everything under one roof, but then they knew that things were getting out of hand, and certain, segments had to be shifted. So that's when the watches, jewelry, and all of those things, the machinery, everything concerned to that particular segment went separate. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And then a
Well,
lot of companies
there was
came.
also a lot of history happened
Yes, yes,
in that 100 years as well,
yeah,
and so there was the whole event changed, and as you said about adapting, it adapted as well, and then it became this event that was became very highbrow, luxury oriented
yes,
watches and jewelry, and
yes.
that's whenever I remember. I think my first visit to Baselworld was 2008, 2007,
So was it?
2008. And yeah, so I witnessed kind of the heyday of Baselworld,
Yes,
and
yes.
yeah, and eventually it got I think the last event was in 2019,
2019 was the last.
and then we had the lockdowns, which kiboshed everything for the next couple of years. And by
Yes.
the time 2022 came around, MCH, the event holder, event host organizer, announced that it was over. It was unsustainable.
So now let me tell you the news. So I was walking on the street with Daria, and I meet the CEO of Basel Tourism, Leticia Elia. Amazing person. She was Swiss Tourism, and then they got her to Basel Tourism, and she took over the Spectre from a person called Daniel. What was his name? Anyways, Danny. Danny was amazing. So, anyways, and then, um, so she looks at me. She's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here? I heard, that you are here, but." And then we were talking, and talking about, and we got to meet, and blah blah blah. And then she tells me, "You know something? There may be something happening very soon. A little version of Baselworld called Basilia."
Tell us more.
And I was like, "What are you talking about? Little version of Baselworld? There cannot be a little version of Baselworld. There should be either Baselworld or something totally different." Then she said, "This would be something totally different." So the idea behind it is mostly jewelry and some watch brands.
Okay.
Now I think they're looking at micro brands also,
Right.
and the middle segment.
Here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So this is the thing what I heard from her, and then I didn't have a lot of time to talk, so I said we will get back to you with this, and I'm going to be talking to her this week to see what exactly is going on. She knows almost everything what is going on, and after that, I think at least 5 to 6 people have talked to me about it. Basilia, and I'm like, this is crazy. I think this is a good way to slowly, step by step, to get to the point where they were.
To reintroduce, it's not Baselworld, it's Basilia.
Yeah.
And so it kind of has to reinvent itself. It also has some very, very stiff competition because Watches and Wonders has taken on a life of its own.
But I think the way they are looking at it, it is nothing to do with Watches and Wonders or the Geneva Watch Days. It is totally, they're looking at a total different concept. They're mostly focusing on jewelry and some watch brands. Now, I think what is going to happen, I think in the next 10 years, it'll be a big deal. If they place it properly in the market. It's going, because none of the watch brands wants to be left out from any. I mean, we had Gotham Watch Time 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had 25 brands, the first Gotham Watch Time.
Wow.
25 brands. Wind Up and watch is it Watch Time? Yes. Wind Up has got about 300 brands over there.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
Watch Time and Wind Up is just for those brands, the micro brands and some middle, like the Orises and the Fortises and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Those are the ones, you see Seaco's and
not the brands, and things like that.
Citizens, and these are, but also a lot of micro brands. I mean, almost everything is micro brands over there. But then you look at the other venue, which is a Watch Time, which has got only high end. Everything. Now, this is, and if Basel is smart, and if Basilia has got the right leadership, I think it's going to be a good situation.
I always believe you don't knock something until you've seen what it's like, and I also wish anyone who is putting on an event that stimulates awareness, that spreads the word, that helps brands, as you said, the micro brands, which is a thriving
Yeah.
sector. It's just, you know, micro brands. I thought about this quite a lot because you can't be an expert on everything, and I tended to gravitate towards the independents and the artisan watchmakers.
Yeah.
But there is such a thriving
Yes.
culture
Yeah.
in the micro brand world, and but there's hundreds and hundreds of brands, and I take my hat off to anyone who has got the cojones to start a watch brand. It doesn't matter whether it is somebody who's making a watch on their own. I'm speaking later this week with Machiel, and it's it, I still have the same respect for someone who is just starting a watch brand on their own, and so this, yeah, the microbrand culture is huge at this time. So sorry, it's a little technical, folks. But so it'll be fascinating to see what happens with the with if Basilia approaches starts attracting.
They're looking at, I think, latest next year.
Yeah, it is. Well, the date of it is actually going to dovetail in with the end of Watches and Wonders. So when the distributors, when the retailers, when the press, the international people who travel are all in Switzerland, you got the industry days from Monday through to Friday, and then the public days Friday through to Sunday in Watches and Wonders, and then Basilia is going to take on the weekend.
I have to ask you: are you allowed to talk about that thing? What you're going to be doing, or no?
Not yet.
I mean, I am. You have no idea how excited and how I'm looking forward to.
Oh my goodness! Oh, Jay, listen. In the next 2 weeks or so, I would hope that we can talk about something that I've been working on for the last while, and man, I can hardly sleep at night, and that's not just because of the hot Irish summer that we're getting. That is there's some we've got some news that we're working on, and once I have a few I's dotted and T's crossed and can say something with confidence, I will definitely I'll come on your show on In the Metal here and say something about it. But there's I've actually been away all day working on that, and so exciting, let me tell you. So but that's another possible event on the calendar, and
I am so excited for that. I think I'll be having at least 10 to 15 people coming down, if you know,
folks. We will be making some kind of an announcement here on In the Metal in the next couple of weeks, I would hope. We have been. I've hosted the Festival of Time, which has been a real wonderful experience for me to invite some of the top echelon of independent and artisanal watchmakers to Ireland, and it ain't happening this year, but maybe next year. And so
I am, as I said, this is something which, anyways, let us go back to Art Basel.
Precisely. Yes, that was actually, so there was two things I wanted to talk about. One was Basilia, the new event, and where it fits in to the watch industry calendar, what it might be, what shape it might take, when it happens. So I'm looking forward to seeing that next year. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you or ask you about, Jay, was Art Basel. And put on your Basel tourism hat and tell me, why should I come to Art Basel? What is it?
So I think about 45 years ago, a local gallerist called Ernst Beyeler and about 4 other gallerists at that time And Ernst Baylor also, incidentally, has he passed away. The museum called the Baylor Museum in Basel.
Okay.
Ernst Baylor and some of his friends, as an experiment, wanted to start a little fair where they could sell their art to people. This is about 45, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how and what happened in those years. This is the most important art fair in the world.
Wow.
They have then opened in Miami once a year in December for the Latin American and American, public.
Yeah.
Then they opened in Hong Kong. Then they opened in Paris and in Qatar. They are one of the most important art fairs and establishment ever in the world. All the top galleries like Gagosian, um, Lisa Spellman, 303, Skarstedt, Hauser and Wirth, every name which is known at the art, the world of art, is present in this fair. And for me to go back to Basel after 7 long years, and I think I must have met at least 300 to 400 people just by by letting them know on social media that I'm going to be in Art Basel and we should be meeting. I had three breakfast appointments. I had about two lunch appointments, two dinner appointments. It was so beautiful. The first 3 days I was with Daria because she was working, and then she left on Thursday evening, and then I started meeting people and whatever. It was just amazing. Just going back to the place which shaped me, which made me who I am today, was just incredible, and very emotional too.
Because I don't know a huge amount about it, I was taking a look and at their website, which is artbasel.com,
Yeah.
and under the exhibitors and sectors, that there must be the best part of 100 galleries and
Yes.
exhibitors that
Yes.
are all uh, taking over the different spaces in the
Yes.
city. I imagine, is it all in the Messe
So
Basel,
most
or
of
is
the
it all
things,
over the city?
yes, most of them is in the Messe area, the Unlimited, the Art Basel, the Design Miami, the Vault. It's all there. It's all around there. But there are also these little things which are outside. Like there's the art, something with the art super club or something. So many other things happening at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
The same time, so many different things are happening there, and people, when they come to Basel, they just look forward to going to these events. Like the Baylor Museum has a party, the Vitra Museum, which makes all the chairs, they have a party. Every institution which is known to, like Kunsthalle, the Kunsthalle restaurant, the Campari bar, it's like the place to be. I was invited by the Hothlons brand. And
Excellent.
Hothlons, the independent brand Hothlons, who is also a sister brand of Moser,
Was it? Yeah.
Cedric Yoos, he knew that I was coming to Basel, and he said, "You have to join us for our dinner on Tuesday evening." There were 60 people over there. 60 people for a dinner party for Hothlons and for Rene Schmidt, who's also a gallerist who works with Hothlons, doing up their booths and everything else in an artistic way. So Rene Schmidt, Cedric Yoos, Guillaume Tetou, the brothers, Edouard and Bertrand, they sort of have this every year, and it was such an honor to be invited and to
That's
be a part of it.
That's because I was wondering, was there much of a crossover, and if you like, in the personality of the two events of Baselworld and Art Basel?
So
And
Art Basel has a watch brand they work together with. That's Audemars Piguet. Always. Audemars Piguet, the family is very big into art. Like everybody, every other watch families. But Audemars Piguet is the one of the main watch brands involved with Art Basel.
okay,
So I'm
so are they like patrons of the event or sponsors?
I think they have yes, a sponsorship, because I mean I understand that. I mean, who would not be want to be involved in this such a big, global event?
Yeah, yeah,
As a watch brand, and having Audemars Piguet everywhere. I mean, it's like the biggest place where you can see and make yourself seen.
yeah. No, it's a very high profile event, and again, the city is full. The city is buzzing.
Yes.
There's the hotels, the restaurants, and that. I used to love that energy that was happening around there. Again,
Great.
coming from
Yes.
here, a
Yes.
small seaside town in Ireland, and going over to get into this, thrown into this cosmopolitan mix of
Yes.
humanity and
Yes.
of energy and ideas and creativity and
Yes.
branding and bottomless marketing budgets and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It was quite an eye opener for me. And so I obviously, as you can tell, Jay, I got completely carried away with the whole thing, and so now
But you also know that Geneva Watch Days and the Watches and Wonders are similar situations happening, but I don't think it's as big as what Baselworld was.
yeah. It's growing, but I think you got to allow these things to find out figure out what they are. Like what we're doing here in the metal is kind of figuring out what it is and where its place is, and it's just, I think with events like that, obviously Watches and Wonders, there's a lot of investment and planning, and there's teams working on it already. I see the first email from them today telling us that the next event starts on April 5th next year. So like,
Yes.
they maybe get a few weeks off or a couple of weeks off after the event. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's straight back in, and there's debriefing and what did we do right and what did we get wrong, and how do we improve on the event for the next year. And so they have the luxury, Jay, of having teams of people, whereas
Yes.
yours truly is kind of going at.
Yours truly has done it before, so I 100%. I'll be going 100%.
That's Watch Ape. Thank you very much indeed for your comment and for your patronage of In the Metal. We humbly appreciate every time you're joining us, like But so yeah, so that's the difference. So it's always a fascinating thing to embark on. I'm wondering again, Jay. Keep me on the right track. Keep me on the right track, man.
No. I mean, as I said, for me, this week brought back a lot of memories. Brought back everything which I thought about. In time when you're in a different space and different environment, you sort of tend to forget all of those important aspects. What happened in your life in the place you have been. Like being in Brooklyn for 7 years, it's so fast paced compared to Basel, and you have so many things happening, and you're like, okay, and whatever. But then that going back was like a reset.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know exactly what you mean, because I can actually bear testament to what you mean, because I can see you're actually juggling a very busy business while you're talking to me, and it is fascinating. I don't know. Some people have that energy that but yeah, it must have felt good to go back to Basel, see old friends, walk old streets that you haven't been on in a while.
Yes. And to show Daria, and she was with me for and to show her, this is the place I started, this is what I did, That's the place I started off with my Indian takeout and delivery business. In 1999. 2 years later, I opened a restaurant because somebody believed in the cuisine what I made. And then 14 years later, I opened the second one, and then the third one. It was like all of these things, and the two restaurants which I was in, the first one, the 14 years, and the other one for the 6 years, they both have a Michelin star now. Do you see how that is?
Yeah.
Both the restaurant I was in
Yeah.
have a Michelin star right now.
It's,
Crazy for me.
that's down to good foundations, I would say.
Yes. I mean, I think this is all about how the energy is and what has been done in the space and all the things what has been carried over. And it's, people know about the space, and for them to, go there and check it and get a Michelin star is a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal.
I guess there was one. I noticed towards the end of Baselworld, there was one common criticism in particular, and it was about the cost of everything.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, do you think that MCH and the city of Basel realize that they have lost, or they have allowed a goose that lays the golden egg they hadn't looked after it properly? Will that come back? Will they address that, do you think?
So I talked to a lot of people about it. I also was in a podcast with Karishma Karer,
Yes.
she wanted to talk to me about Baselworld, and I told her greediness is what killed Baselworld, not just the management, but also
Correct.
everybody around.
Yep.
I mean, I think I was the only restaurant which never put up the prices for Baselworld or Art Basel because I didn't see any. It made no sense to me. You can't put up 100% just because it's Art Basel. I mean, a sausage costed $18 plus a glass of water costed another $8. So you're paying, $26 for a sausage with a piece of bread. A glass of champagne, $35. I mean, really? Yeah. You can still charge people what you want to, but you have to be very aware. It'll go for a certain, and then when the brands left because they said, bullshit, this is not the way to do things. You have to listen to what we have to say. You have to listen to what we say.
Totally.
Because that is very important that happens.
Totally.
That is how things are supposed to be. And when people don't do that and don't listen and don't organize, and it takes it the high happened, and then it was good for some time, and then when you look at a table costing $150, a switch with electricity costing when you have 20 of them what you need, plugs and whatever else, it costs crazy money. I've known booths coming to me to my restaurant telling me, oh my god, the whole thing cost us $150,000.
Crazy.
And I went to the booth and it was like a small whatever, and I'm like, wow.
It was crazy. It was crazy. And even in the Palace, where I remember where a lot of the emerging independents, you had Hall 2.1, I think, is where AHCI and people like Schwartz at the end and people like that were. But then you had the Palace, which was downstairs. It was kind of a marquee area, and that's where you had your Sarpanevas. And I remember the great Daniel Nebel, who was he was amazing. Sadly passed away very young. But you also had, who did I see there? Bove, MBNF, Irver,
everybody.
GOS, were all in the Palace.
The Ludovic, everybody were there. Everybody was down there.
Yeah, it was still extremely expensive.
Yes.
And I remember that there. And being told that you to have one plug socket or two plug sockets, you were paying by the power outlet. It was... I still can't get my... Well, I can. I can see what it is. But, and as you're talking about the food and that, like, this is where I discovered Birker muesli, because I lived on that stuff during the daytime. I lived
yogurt and cream and and fruits and raisins.
Man, listen, I was living like a caveman. I was going to the co-op and buying a little tub of Birkin muesli, and that was
Let
doing me
me
breakfast and lunch.
let me tell you what I ate. So, Basel is very special with food, very special. So, the season of asparagus is done. The white asparagus from Alsace or from Germany is actually done. But what happened was that Monday we went to Art Unlimited, and I went to my friend's restaurant called Re Shansley, fully booked. And I was like, "Listen, I've just come here. Two of us. We'll be very fast." And she's like, "Oh, no problems." And Jerome, the owner, comes in. "Oh, Jay." Anyways, I ordered for one was the fennel salad, which was absolutely fabulous with with some nuts and whatever. It was really cool. But the main course, I had the white asparagus, sauce hollandaise, and ham. And my wife ate the cordon bleu, the veal cordon bleu, which is stuffed with cheese and ham
Yes.
and some fries. I still get water in my mouth. That was so incredible. It was so cool. And I was going crazy with that. And, that was the first amazing meal after. And then, we were in another place. And there was another place called, uh, what was the name of the place? So the guy who's cooking there, his name is Musetti, Italian dude, been there for 30 years. So he makes this octopus carpaccio just with olive oil and lemon and some pressed, the pepper. Fantastic. And then my wife had a escalope of veal with the lemon sauce with risotto. I had Angus with risotto. Crazy.
Oh wow.
Then we had this little selection of desserts like the tiramisu, the panna cotta, the typical Italian. I'm telling you, it was such an amazing trip for us. It was so beautiful. The food was incredible, and all the things around it. And I don't drink, but I just look at how it is. It's still the same. A little bit of development here and there, a lot of things happening, but the people are still the same. People
Excellent.
recognize me even with my beard.
Yeah. I wonder why, Jay.
I wonder why. No,
But
I
talking
was
about
very
all that,
blessed, very blessed, very lovely. That 1 week made such a big difference for me.
I'm delighted. I'm
It
delighted.
was
And
like
to know so,
finishing
yeah,
that circle.
yeah. Just and well, finishing that and possibly like a figure eight, starting out on
Yeah.
another one with Basilia, and so it's interesting to see. I really look forward to seeing what it's like. I hope that it is a success
Yeah.
and that it, that we will be talking with that again. I am sure. And as you said, you'll be talking with your friend from the Basel Tourism, and
Yes,
you'll be
Letitia.
able to tell us more about it in
I'm
the
going to
next
talk
week
for
or
this
two.
week. So let's talk next week. Just a little thing about how it's going to
Yeah,
develop.
cool. Absolutely. Let's update with
Yeah.
what's going on. And here, man, I also was going to mention the Phillips auction in New York again, but it was nuts. So, yeah, we will. But I don't have any images lined up for that
Kari
there.
Voltainen, 1.8 million and 8.
Jordan,
John, what was that? 8 or 18?
13 million.
13.
13
That
million.
is Swiss
So,
francs. So it's about $18 million.
yeah, it was for the chronometre resonance subscription.
Wow.
And it went for estimate of 1 million, in excess of 1 million, and it hammered at 13.9. And Carey with his Vent 8 en Versailles going through at 1.15 million. These figures just fall off the tongue so easily that it's possible just to nearly not take in their significance, but it's crazy. It really, really is. Uh, as I said. But it's something that we can. So it's good to keep an eye on what's happening with these auctions. There was another excellent little auction by Martineau, and they've got a really, really cool and interesting format. They had something like about 30 lots, but what they're doing, they're Arthur Tushu, I think, is the
Yes, Arthur, yes.
one of the
Wasn't he at Hodinky before?
yeah, yeah. But what they're doing with this, there's a large representation of independent watch brands, and what they're actually doing there is that they're giving 3% of the hammer price back to the watchmaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
That is
there was
amazing.
the Antica I saw in Phillips, the Antica Vianney Halter's Antica. It sold for, let me just find it. There was, I think it was 550,000. The Martineau sale had one that $584,000 in New York, in the Phillips New York auction. Now the Martineau one that they sold was a PS unique, 800k, and 3% of 800k is not a bad day's work.
Yeah, it's not a bad day's work.
I am telling you, for the independent watchmaker. So it's we need to talk actually with. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to maybe talk with Martineau and talk about their format and what they're doing. And
Yeah,
yeah, I think that'll be fascinating for us
that'll be really cool.
and for Watch Ape, who watches us all the time. And so we'll be so. But anyway, Jay, listen, 40 minutes ad libbing, shooting the breeze, winging it.
How is it possible that the time goes off so fast? No
because it's
images,
fun.
no nothing. 40
Because
minutes.
it's fun. It's enjoyable
Great.
conversation.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love it.
and it's
Thank you
real.
very much.
So yeah, and you listen. Thank you, and for
Oh, you
everyone
have
who.
another one going on this week with Dan.
Yeah, but on Thursday, this is Tuesday. If you're watching, if you're catching up on YouTube, this is the Tuesday episode, which we do most Tuesdays with myself and the wonderful Jay. Thursday of this week, we have Dan Spitz is back in the room with an incredible story from a watchmaker called Michael Hulsman, who we've had on before. And
Holtzman.
Michael Hulsman, he's
Oh
a
my God,
Dutch
Holtzman is amazing. You saw the new drop,
turbio. Yeah,
$130,000.
yeah, yeah. It's
Insane! It's
that
insane. It's insane.
we are going to go through that watch.
The retrograde.
Yeah, look, I told you I know images. I've got one. So and it's a very grainy one too, so I'll have to do something with that for the night in question. But yeah, that's
I think I saw
the
this live for Indies.
yeah. It's incredible, and but the way that he makes his watches is
Everything is done by himself. Every damn piece.
yeah, absolutely. And he is a complete traditionalist. I've had he has sent me a gallery of images that we're going to be using on his workshop. Everything, it just looks like an amazing space. So that's happening on Thursday night. That is another episode, people. If you're catching up on YouTube, look out for Dan Spitz with Michael Hulsman and yours truly, and we'll be doing that. So, but for now, again, everybody, thanks so much indeed for following us. We appreciate it, and it is it's wonderful to have these conversations with you. So we will catch up with you again next time around, and I'm sure we will have plenty more to talk about as ever. And so from me and from Jeff, thank you very much indeed, folks. See you next time.
Thank you.